My name is Naya Moore, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how to find an apartment. You finally decided that you want to get your own place, but do you know where to look for a place to live? Knowing how to begin the apartment hunting process correctly will help you make better decisions on your apartment and make the whole process less stressful. Taking the proper steps when looking for an apartment will help you make better decisions and determining the best apartment for you. I am currently looking for an apartment myself, and the steps that I have taken so far has really helped me determine what kind of apartment I need and want. Today, I will be going over each step of finding an apartment and how each one will benefit you. The first thing we are going to talk about is budget. Budget for an apartment is extremely important. The best thing you should do before getting an apartment is determining how much rent you can afford. Experts say that 30% of your gross income should go towards your rent. I have recently learned about the 50-30-20 rule, which states 50% goes towards your bills, 20% goes towards yourself, and 20% goes towards your savings. If you can learn this skill, I am 100% sure that you will be excellent in budgeting and you have all the money that you need. But it's best to make sure that you have enough money before getting an apartment. The next step in the apartment hunting process is knowing where you want to live. When you are looking at apartments in different locations, it's best to keep in mind what's nearby, such as restaurants or shopping centers, or how far the apartment is from your job or families and friends. So always keep that in mind when looking for an apartment. Also, another great thing to do is when you have multiple locations is make a list of the pros and cons of each location. For an example, one advantage could be that the neighborhood is very quiet, but it's a con can also be that it's too far. So keep that in mind when you're paying attention to the location of your apartment. Making a list of the pros and cons of each location will help you determine what apartment is best for you in the process. The next thing we are going to talk about is the amenities and how to decide on an apartment. When it comes to amenities, not every apartment is going to have what you want. So to save your time, to save yourself the disappointment and time, it's best to just make a list of the must-haves, the things that you really want in your apartment to avoid wasting time. When you do this, it will basically just help you determine which apartment is best for you. Once you have identified the apartments that are within your budget and have the best location for you and have the amenities that you require, the next step is to ensure that you have all the documents that's necessary for your application. Some complexes will require you to have a high credit score. I believe the credit score recommended is 620 or higher. If you have below that, then some will require you to have a co-signer, a person that will be able to pay your rent for you if you are able to do so. So that's best to keep in mind. Once you should also have identification on hand, such as a driver's license or a regular state ID. But once you have completed all the requirements for your application, next thing is to contact some properties and schedule some tours. Now that you're almost at the end of your journey, when going on apartment tours, it's best to make sure that you ask the realtor as many questions as you want. Make sure you ask the important questions. And it's also a good idea to inspect the apartment very thoroughly. Taking photographs is also a good idea. Bringing friends along to help you make the decision making is also another one. You should never feel obligated to decide on the first apartment that you see. It's always best to make sure you see two or more before making a decision. But now that you have decided on an apartment and you're positive that it's the right one for you, the last thing that you need to do in the process is submit your application. You may be able to find You may be able to fill out your application online at times, but if you can't, then you will have to go to the leasing office. Most likely, you will be required to pay a non-refundable application fee, so make sure you have a form of payment with you. It could be a credit card, debit card, or check, whichever one you prefer. But finally, I have explained how to find an apartment and the steps and how each one of them helps the process. You've now decided that you wanted your own place in the beginning, and now you know the right way to go about looking for an apartment. Thank you.